As a conceptual artist, I'm constantly looking for creative ways to spark challenging conversations. I do this through painting, sculpture, videos, and performance, but regardless format, two of my favorite materials are history and dialogue. In 2007, I created Lotus, 7.5 feet diameter, 6,000 pound glass depiction of a lotus blossom. In Buddhism, lotus is a symbol for transcendence and purity of heart, purity of mind and spirit. But a closer look at this lotus reveals each petal to be cross-section of slave ship. This iconic image was taken. This iconic diagram was taken from British slaving manuals, later used by abolitionists to show atrocities of slavery. In America, we don't like to talk about slavery, nor do we look at it as a global industry. I hope using this Buddhist symbol to universalize and transcend history and trauma of Black America and to encourage discussions about our shared past. When I created Lotus, we curved over 6,000 figures. This later led to a commission by the city of New York to create 28-foot version in steel as a permanent installation at Legal Academy for Young Men, a school for Black and Latino students. Two groups are most affected by this history. Two same groups are very affected by a more recent phenomenon, but let me digress. I've been collecting wooden African figures from tourist shops and flea markets around the world. Authenticity and origin of them are completely debatable, but people believe these to be imbued power or even magic. Only recently have I figured out how to use this in my own work. Since 2012, world has witnessed the killings of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, and literally countless other unarmed Black citizens at hands of the police, who frequently walk away with no punishment at all. In consideration of these victims, and several times even I, law-abiding Ivy League professor have been targeted and harassed at the gunpoint by the police, I created this body of work simply entitled BAM. It was important to erase the identity of each of these figures and make them all look the same and easier to disregard. To do this, I dipped them in deep, thick brown wax before taking them to a shooting range where I resculpted them using bullets. And it was fun playing with big guns and high-speed video cameras. But my reverence for these figures kept me from pulling the trigger, somehow feeling I would be shooting myself. Finally, my cameraman Raoul fired the shots. I then took fragments of these created molds, then cast them first in wax, finally in bronze, like the image you see here, which bears the marks of these violent creations, like battle wounds and scars. When I showed them recently in Miami, one woman told me that she felt every gunshot to her soul, but she also told me that she felt this artwork memorialized the victims of these killings as well as other victims of racial violence throughout US history. But Lotus and Bomb are larger than just US history. While showing artwork in Berlin last year, one philosophy student asked me what prompted these recent killings. I showed him a photograph from a wrenching postcard from the early 1900s and reminded him that these killings have been going on for over 500 years. But it's only through questions like his and more thoughtful dialogue of history and race can we evolve as individuals and society. I hope my artwork creates a safe space for this type of honest exchange and an opportunity for people to engage one another in a real and necessary conversations.